All right, Hollywood, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. It is Monday, May 6, 2024, 12 p.m. Eastern. Do you know where your country is? Well, let me introduce you to the godfather of conservative radio, Mr. Hutch Bailey Jr.
Hello, Wayne. Ladies and gentlemen, it's glad to be here. A lot of stuff going nuts out there.
Nuts and crazy and nuts. And then we also have the Imam of Minnesota, Mr. Jason Robinson.
Hey, happy Monday, Hutch, Wayne, audience. We're here to take this crazy ride with all of you.
Surveyor of 125 Facebook pages. Oh man, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. I hope that everybody had a great weekend. Today's show will be an hour long. Just a whole lot of traveling and stuff. And we got Ava coming on at the end of the half an hour. So your boy's tired. Your boy is tired. But Mother's Day is this Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Mother's Day is this Sunday. So whatever you can do for your mom, and make sure that you let her know that you love her. And if your mom is not here, I'm sorry. That's number one. But if your mom is not here, remember her somehow. Remember her through prayer, through dedication, through some type of remembrance. Because you only get one mom. Tell you the truth, honestly, you only get one mother. So, and that, we can go into different things and stuff like that, but I think y'all know what I'm talking about. How was y'all's weekend?
Well, it was wonderful. Weather wasn't too good, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was, I went to an event, to a vintage communication event. I had set my expectations a little too high. It was a little smaller than what I thought it was, but if there's any question on anybody's mind, if there's somebody out there that collects old typewriters, I'm here to tell you it's a thing. Really? I saw more typewriters at this thing than I've ever seen in my life in one place. Somebody actually collects the old ones. So that was a little interesting, different.
Oh, wow.
My mom used to have a gospel broadcast every Sunday night. But every Saturday, she used to take out this steel typewriter. She was good too. She was good on that typewriter. And that was a time where you really didn't have any copiers. So she would have
carbon paper.
Get carbon paper. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
It was like you have the typing paper, but then you had put the carbon, and then you have another paper for your copy, And
sometimes two copies.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Like, got to make sure you hit the button hard enough,
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And whatever key, like I remember Forensic Investigators. I used to read the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
And when you use this finger, it's the weakest finger. So whatever letter that finger was always lighter than the other ones. They could tell if somebody was right-handed or left-handed. It was a trip.
Yeah, man.
And don't make a mistake on a typewriter.
Oh, man.
You could have a trash can full of balled up paper.
Yes.
Trying to write 3 pages.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I remember when correction tape came into play.
And before that, you put it on with a brush.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like
that means we're old.
They'd be like click, 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 click.
God. It didn't look right. It never looked
like white paint, you put it across the thing. And then not only that, because some people put it on the thing, right, and keep on typing. Some people would take it out of the thing, do like,
and then never match it up
to
again.
dry it.
You could never match. You could never match it up.
Right. Because then when you put it back in, you couldn't line it up. Even though some typewriters you could pull out and you could like, instead of tick 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 tick, you could scroll it. Okay, you could, but it still couldn't line up the way that it was. Yeah.
Wayne said, "Whoop down here, this."
Yeah, boy.
Oh, the old days, the old days, the old days.
Yeah. See, and that typewriter, that steel typewriter had a steel cover. It almost looked like a steel briefcase.
Yeah,
that's
it weighed like 500 pounds.
Yeah. It was like, but she used to do it every Saturday. Every Saturday, she used to type up all of the songs that she was going to play, 1 through 30 or whatnot, and who it was singing in, who it was by, and I was like, wow, that's yeah. But then that carbon paper is how I learned to match her fingerprints. No, match her signature for my report card.
Right.
As a matter of fact, she told the teacher, it's like, because the teacher gave her the paper, and my mom looked down there and she looked at me. She looked down there and she was like, she got a chuckle to herself. She was like, "That's better than me." Oh my goodness! Oh man, that great time. What have y'all noticed over the weekend that I didn't notice? Have y'all anything popping up on y'all's radar?
Something serious pops up on mine. There's I don't know if this is going to get. It's probably not going to get any play in the corporate media, but Colonel Earl Matthews is the head lawyer for the DC National Guard. And he testified, I don't know what day it was, if it was Friday or if it was on the weekend, but he basically said that senior Army commanders disobeyed the commander-in-chief's orders.
Yep.
And basically blames the entire January 6th insurrection on these several Army officers. And if we're going to have a nation, they have to be brought to court-martial.
Yep.
Or we're not going to have a military. I'm not going to support them anymore. If they don't take these people, they're busted. They're clean busted. There's 10 different sightings of the Uniform Code of Military Justice that Mark Milley and the rest of these guys violated. And if we're not going to be taken over like Adolf Hitler's Germany by the military, they got to be prosecuted. That's some serious stuff that I don't think is making the rounds.
Yeah. The other thing that's not making the rounds other than on alternative platforms like Twitter or whatnot is, are you guys following this documents case with what Judge Cannon's releasing? Julie Kelly's covering it. And yeah, I've gone back to read the court documents. This stuff's horrific. I mean, somebody from the DOJ and the Biden White House gets moved to that Jack Smith team. And then it's uncovered that the documents that they took the picture of, you remember that famous picture where they spread them all out? They were pushing the Department of something, Administrative Affairs or something, was pushing. They sent that material to Mar-a-Lago, and then they stacked it in Mar-a-Lago because they're like, here, Trump, you got to take this stuff. They stack it, and you can tell by the way it was stacked that it was never gone through. And they even fabricated the cover sheets for a photo op so that when they show up to raid Mar-a-Lago after the feds know that the department sent the pallet of stuff to Mar-a-Lago. I mean, the whole thing was just staged, and it's coming out in court documents. And I'm like, holy cow, how is this not like front page news? Like, it is a setup. And thank God for Judge Cannon, because while all these other judges are just seeing this stuff and letting it go by, she's like, "Are you kidding me? This stuff's awful," and she's releasing it.
I'll tell you, I read an article this morning before the show called False Flag Nation. And it basically says that one of Saul Alinsky's rules is that when you use a tactic too much, it becomes a drag. And this author is basically saying they're way overplaying this false flag thing. Everybody in America knows it's bull.
Right.
I mean, if anything happens serious in the next couple weeks or the next couple months, wait 48 hours before you make a decision on how to react, because there's so much phony stuff out there. They have nothing left. The only thing they really have left is true violence.
Right. Well, and it's fascinating too, because even all this stuff, January 6th, more and more stuff's coming out about January 6th, and it's just completely changing the narrative. And now, even on the weekend, I saw one of the dudes in New York, they passed a law. Basically, they might as well called it the Jean E. Carroll law, because they passed this law about survivors just so she could go after President Trump. And then one of the guys that voted for it has an accusation coming up from like 30 years ago, and he's like, "Oh, this law is unconstitutional." Yeah, so you got the documents case blowing up. You got Fani Willis with a debacle down in Atlanta. You've got Jeannie Carroll. Now they're arguing that this law is unconstitutional that allowed him to be charged. Meanwhile, New York, they just fined Trump another $1,000 and they're threatening him with jail time. And I just say, go ahead, see how that works out for you guys.
Yeah, if they would have thought it was going to work out, he'd already be in jail.
Right.
Well, I already said they don't want to put him in jail, because if you put him in jail, that's where he wants to go in the first place. So, yeah. Have you heard anything about Hope Hicks lately?
Just from you.
Yeah, just from you. And I read a little bit about her testimony this weekend.
Okay. Enlighten us.
Yeah,
so
you sound like you were watching it.
No, no, I wasn't really watching. Well, you really can't watch it, but I was looking at some of the testimony that was coming across, and I really hope that our side really doesn't go after Hope and damage her like they have done on some various people, because Hope is a really beautiful person, and I'm not just talking about physical. She helped us. She helped us when nobody else would, back before Trump ran for office. She helped us get what is this girl? Yes, for Rumble, I saw the guy putting in the Bitcoin links, and I took care of that, so I got it. There's bots everywhere. Jesus, there's freaking bots everywhere. Yeah,
there are.
Hope Hicks. Yeah, she's like if Trump had a right hand man, Cohen thinks he's right hand man. But if he really had a right hand man, Hope Hicks was his right hand man, and Hope is one of those people that I didn't really see anything that was super damaging in the transcripts that was coming out, but I do understand courtrooms, circus like type stuff too. And basically, I think where they're going with how she's answering things, is they're trying to make it say that Donald Trump was in charge of everything, so he had to know everything. And based on her testimony, because she worked with him, and that's why she's on the witness stand, she's almost corroborating that in a way for the campaign, for the 2016 campaign. I was like, why in the world are they talking about the 2016 campaign? And then they brought in the Entertainment Tonight videotape thing. I was like, man, this is stupid. This ain't really got nothing to do with the case. But then again, that's what they're doing. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense anymore. Right is wrong and wrong is right. And it's not that we agree that should be the case, but that's how things are. Right is wrong and wrong is right. I was watching Archie Bunker this morning. We were talking, my son and I were talking about how TV used to be. And, Sammy Davis Jr. was on there. And Sammy Davis Jr. ended up in Archie Bunker's house. And Archie wanted to take a picture with him. Next thing you know, he's like, 1, 2. And when it hit 3, Sammy had turned over it and kissed Archie on the cheek. And
I remember that.
Archie was like, kind of like that. But I said all that to say this. This nation has become so pussified and sensitivity-eyed. It's nauseating. You can't say anything anymore. You can't do anything. You can't you can't even open up a door for a woman without these feminists. I can open up my own door. Okay, well, my mom taught me how to be a gentleman, but whatever. But the things that we laughed at, and we talk about it briefly here and there, but the things that we used to laugh at, the things that kind of kept us, even society, seemed better than it is right now, because we weren't so sensitive. And now it seems like since we are now super sensitive, people depressed, people walking around on tiptoes and eggshells, and it's like can't live here, can't live there, And to me, social media is the devil, because social media has expanded it. I'm so glad Parler is back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Parler is back. And moving, I was talking to them last night. They contacted me last night. They were like, "We got everything back up and running. We got our own servers. We got this. We got that. They got a lot of stuff coming. That's all I got to say. They got a lot of stuff coming. They even have a YouTube alternative. You know what? They just got a whole lot coming. Okay. Wait a minute. You know what too? Hold on. I want to make sure that oh yeah. That 20 million users. 20 million users for Parler. And they're trying now. I didn't know it was 413 days from the last time that I posted on there. That's crazy. Because I basically forgot about them, to tell you the truth. And when you go on there now and you look at their mobile app, that's a pretty app, to tell you the truth. But if you have an account on Parler, go back and check it out. Did you check it out yet, Jay?
Yeah, I was logging in. It's funny. It's been, like you say, over a year. It's been shut down. It's like, okay, what was my login again? I got to get the app going. I'll be curious what the engagement looks like, how quick they can bring people back, because that, until you text me, I hadn't heard they were back. And then I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy. I mean, it was a great platform. It was very user friendly. They didn't do a lot of censorship or any of that kind of stuff. So I have high hopes.
And on top of that, we were looking at some of the I kind of posted on Twitter X this morning. I was like, this message doesn't go out to those that aren't affected, but if you're affected by the suppression and stuff, go back over to Parler. Go back over there. It's I really believe, or I really hope that they can, just like you said, can get off the ground and jump into the mainstream again, because they were all that bag of chips before they rolled out.
I just hit the bookmark that I had for Parler and it downloaded a file.
You downloaded a file?
Yeah.
Parler.com. Parler.com.
Yeah, I'll put a new one in after the show, maybe.
Yeah. Ava is going to be joining us in just a few minutes, but she is going everywhere, man. She is hitting that world tour right now. And dude looks like, I mean, I'm not calling him the Antichrist, but the way that he just carries himself, he just looks like he's just a super peacemaker type of deal, don't he? I mean, he looks like the president of the United States, to tell you the truth.
He comes carrying the money.
Yeah, they're getting ready. I mean, if I was reading stuff over the weekend about BRICS and how they're set financially, I mean, they're set to take over the world reserve currency. And Xi Jinping, I mean, he has formed alliances through the Belt and Road Initiative with hundreds of smaller countries that are very resource rich. And I mean,
we better wake up. We better wake up soon, because I'll tell you what, I read some posts over the weekend. One said, within 10 years, we are going to give up 50% of our income. Every single citizen, 50% of your income is going to pay the interest on this debt.
Right.
I mean, that's suicide. And elsewhere in that same article, it said this is a controlled destruction of the U.S. economy by several people in Washington that are benefiting themselves only. They're selling us out from both sides of the aisle. It's insane, and it's got to stop, or we're going to be, I mean, maybe not me, but my grandkids, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's what's scary too. All these kids keep voting for this stuff. And some of these things that they're proposing are just horrible. Capital gains tax of 40% on top of all the debt we have. And then all these millionaire taxes. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, let's tax the millionaires and billionaires. Well, when that doesn't generate enough revenue to dig us out of this hole, all of a sudden that's going to be, let's tax the 500,000 heirs and the 100,000 heirs. And I mean, we have created this beast. And I mean, 34 trillion, what are you going to do to pay that off? It's insane.
Yeah. And, I may joke about it, but there's always truth in a joke. How Larry Fink, I think that's his name, Larry Fink of BlackRock, is that?
Yep.
I label him the president of the United States. Could be the president, could be the global leader of the whole world, actually, to tell you the truth, because of all the fingers, all the pies that he has his fingers in, everywhere. Okay, this is everywhere, and one of the crazy things that you look at, you be like, okay, you got a president of the United States, you got a Congress, you got a military. This dude has more money than all of them. Do you really think he listens to the president?
He thinks he's God.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I heard him talking, and this guy is equating. You know how you hear countries that their population, their birth rate's declining?
Yeah.
And you got all these countries that are emptying out into here. He's like equating that these low populations are great.
Right.
Because that's where AI is going to step in. And it's like, I mean, we're on the wrong end of that equation.
Yeah.
Well, and here's what's scary. You go back 20, 30 years when Democrats were railing about the takeover of government by corporations, and corporations held all the power. And there's still some people saying it now, but they were right. I mean, our politicians are owned. Our political class is owned.
Our judges
are owned. And,
Yep.
I mean, like that entire universities and these
generals,
I mean,
admirals.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you're serving in the military and you go on the promotion track, your end goal isn't to be a general, it's to be a contractor for
And where do you have to go? Who do you have to please to make that happen? The United States Senate.
Right.
I'm telling you, the Pentagon ought to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico or something.
How long do you think it took for, well, I'm not saying 2,000 years or whatnot, but how long do you think it took for all this to culminate to where it is right now? Do you think that it started happening after Eisenhower left?
It started happening in 1945 after World War II was over.
After World War II was over.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, if you look at the 20s, 30s, 40s, you saw the foundation, because before that, you had a decentralized government. Government didn't overreach and didn't get involved in everything. Right. But in that period of the 20s, 30s, 40s, they started building out this infrastructure government, consolidating power, getting government involved in all these different activities.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you get to the 50s and 60s, and all this big money says, wait a second, now that this thing is built, we can take it over. And then, the bones were there, and now government just exists to make itself bigger. Like, no agency closes, no program ends, no money train stops.
There's still a rural electrification program in West Virginia.
Right.
That RFK touted. And it's still there. We're still paying a tax in Pennsylvania for the Johnstown flood.
Right. And there's still people working there. You know what I mean? They're getting budget every year, and that thing's never going to get shut down.
You look at the military industrial complex. What a lot of people don't know, if you watch the miniseries, The Pacific, it shows you in there how the United States of America in the 1940s was broke. We were broke. We didn't have enough money to fight World War II anymore. Yep. And they took these war heroes and sent them out on war bonds drives to get people to give to war bonds. And then after that, like you said, the industrial complex was already there. I mean, where did we build our tanks? We built them in Detroit and in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Yep. Well, and it's such an incestuous relationship where politicians approve military spending feeds some of these towns, and the corporations getting rich, and then they control the politicians. And it just, I mean, even now they're just talking about it. Like, oh yeah, we got to pass this Ukraine bill because, oh, you know what? That's going to be good for the American economy.
And there's people that work for the military that are waving the Ukrainian flag.
Right. And I mean, it doesn't make any sense. We tax our citizens or print money, and then we give that money to these companies to make bullets for another country. Nothing is produced in America. It's just a dopamine hit. It's a caffeine buzz. It's a short-term economic lift, but then you got to pay the bills because you're not making anything that the U.S.
One thing, one part of that, we do still make our own ammo.
Right.
I mean, it's still made here.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if we built something that would produce tax revenue or grow our infrastructure, make life better in America.
I agree with you on that.
Like, we're laundering all this money through the system. The politicians are getting their cut. The companies are getting their cut. The end product that we paid for is just going somewhere else to get blown up.
I'll tell you, there was a period a couple years ago where the last smelt that made lead closed in the United States, and everybody was panicking that ammo was going to be, we weren't going to be able to make ammo anymore. And I found out, this is just a little trivia. I found out during when I was studying that our bullets, the lead slugs, are made from melting down battery connectors.
Oh, that's funny.
And car batteries. Yeah, I didn't know that. I was like, all right, that works. Because you figure, how many batteries do you go through?
Right.
Car battery types,
Yeah. Coming to our stage is our sister, and our busy sister. She was off and I was off yesterday. Well, what I mean by being off, we thought yesterday was the day. So, we're going back and forth. We're like, okay, what do you want to talk? Okay, we're talking about that. We're talking about that. We're talking about that. And it's like, wait a minute. It's Sunday. And actually that happened last week with me too. I woke up, I was getting ready to go. I was like, wait a minute. Why is this on today? This is usually on Sunday.
You ever wake up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday and get ready to go to work and then realize it's like,
Well, Ava is from the new is from the new federal state of China, and she an awesome journalist. I call them journalists. Join our show each and every week, and I want to welcome Ava to the show. Hey, Ava, how you doing?
I'm great. Hello, my three brothers. How are you?
Hey,
I told everybody, I was like, right after you leave today, we'll probably call it an early show because there's a lot of traveling and stuff over the weekend. But well, let's see. I don't know if we'll probably see you Thursday. So if we don't see you Thursday, let me get it out. Happy Mother's Day and all that type of stuff and everything. And yeah, I want to get that out. Listen, we got a lot to talk about. A short time to do it. We were just talking about how she was starting his Europe trip, and the way that he's going around. And I think we started talking about this when we met people from the NFSC. But he's back on the trail. He's looking like this super gigantic peacemaker, getting off the plane like he is in charge of the whole. I wonder if Larry Fink controls Xi. Larry Fink from BlackRock. Maybe that's something that y'all can check. Well, whatever. But no, I mean, he's the way he's going from here to here to here to here, and he's getting a whole lot of shine on his on his evil ideas. And I don't know, are y'all watching the European leg of what he's doing?
So you're talking about the BlackRock, the chairman and the CEO, Larry Fink. So this is a very complex topic, which I'm planning to do a in-depth a delve into this topic about, the dark force, because you often hear like a Miles Gore referring, this is dark force. So what the dark force comprised of, and I can tell you, it's the CCP and the Communist International. Okay, so which a lot of people know as the WEF. However, not every single one of them, because WEF, if you're talking about membership, they have actually 1,000 institutions or corporations or involved as a membership, but not all of them are involved in this conspiracy against humanity, which I refer to the virus and the vaccine. Okay, so this is a social disaster. So it's a very complex system, but I think American is getting it. Okay, they're getting it. They're seeing the connections as more and more things coming out. And for me, because Miles Gore shared a lot of the intel with us, but because we are not involved in those things, so it's very hard for me to put pieces together. But I finally thinking that I have a fairly understanding, although I can't say that I'm 100% correct, in terms of putting all the pieces together that I've learned for the past 7 years of just through the public live streaming from Miles Gore. I think everybody can do that, right? If you know Chinese, you follow Miles Gore, you can do that. But I think with what I've heard and what I've found, so absolutely there's one fact that people need to realize. We are all enslaved. I mean, I'm including you three. Okay, I know you're citizens of American. I'm Chinese, but I have been a Canadian citizen. I live in the West, but we all been enslaved by the same people. Okay, and there are no more than 100 or so families, and they are truly evil and the dark force of the world. But more scary thing is they control a lot of things. Okay, they control a lot of things. For example, they control media, social media, okay, and they control big pharma. 51% of the swamp, the deep states, control 51% of a lot of the pharmaceutical products that we've seen on market. And these number of families are controlling the 10 most critical ingredients to make 200 medications that people are dependent on every day. Okay, so that's how powerful they are. And on top of it, some of those people are colluded with the CCP in your country. They're also control your military. Okay, so your society, if you listen to what Miles Guo has whistleblowing, the World Economic Forum has been shaping the world for more than 50 years, since year one, 1971. Okay, where did it come from? Who are those main pusher? Okay, so they have the ideology. Okay, so at that time, they started hijacking your system. They want to completely change in your system. Because you know why? I said, as a human being, we all have pride. We all have avarice, like a greed. We all have envy in us. Okay, so once they actually start working with the most dark forces in the world, that's Chinese Communist Party. Okay, Chinese Communist Party, just remember that. They're truly the worst kind you can find in the world. Once they started working with them in late 1970, they started gradually becoming more evil because it grows in you. Okay, when you see another model, when you see CCP can get away with everything, how CCP treat its people right now is actually going on around the world. You don't have to look far. All you have to do is look to, Africa. Since 2013, the CCP has, through the Belt and Road Initiative, established quite a bit establishment in Africa. This is a fact. In Africa, we have the most poor countries and poverties, right? That compare with any other continentals, any other six. So the CCP went there. It's basically completely exploitation. Okay, you just have to pay attention to the last few years, the human rights groups report in terms of reporting on the egregious human rights violation in Africa, in those mining, in these mines. So right now there's a 62, according to a BBC report 7 days ago, there's 62 mines that currently producing a lot of the elements that the EV industry rely on, those precious metals, those mining, right? The lithium, the cobalt, the nickel, but look at those, how they treat African people. Okay, so the CCP refer to those workers as monkey. Not even slave, because slave is actually human. Okay, but they call them monkeys. There are a lot of legal cases already came up. One of the things I sent you a video, but there's things worse than that. If you paid attention in April 2022, there is a case from Rwanda. Is one of the CCP's mining employer, one of the manager, he's tying the workers on the tree and whipping them. Like this is happening in 2022. Okay, every as we speak. So when you think about Black Americans in the United States weeping and crying and on social media saying, something happened, and remind them of they were being treated unfairly as a slave, I actually want them to actually take a look what's happening. If racial is a real thing that connect the people together, then pay attention to your brothers and sisters in Africa. Okay, millions of those workers are under this egregious human rights violations by the CCP. And just Google.
I got the video.
Yeah, just play the video.
Yep. And that's 2022.
This video is actually recent, but the case I'm talking about, you can just Google it. Voice of America reported, and this is very, very prevailing. Okay, this is just not one site, not one because a lot of those companies are CCP state-owned company. They invested in Africa because they wanted to control those resources so they can actually deal with the rest of the world, saying hand on to this control, and you want a green initiative, because green initiative is another thing that they created at World Economic Forum. So they want to create the problem and they also have the solution. So they basically choke on you. Whatever you choose, you lose. So, and another report just actually on VOA just report that Kenya Raider was actually also, so when the CCP come into the local community, when they establish their companies, their suppliers, they have a community. So they're in Africa and they're dying the restaurants. They actually openly abuse the restaurant's server, also a Black Kenyan waitress. And actually, this report right now says the abuse was captured on video as well. We can search it. I didn't find it when I searched right before the show, but it say the abuse was captured on video and showed the boss laughing while the waiter begged for forgiveness, and then they were basically whipping them in the restaurant. This is a waitress whipping by a Chinese company ahead. So I mean, this is happening in China every single second, and nobody talks about it. And when you look at it, people sing a phrase on CCP because people don't understand how evil they are. They are truly a predator, and they're truly a violator of human rights, genocidal. And they released the virus. But the key thing is they are doing this with the most powerful people in your country. So talk about Larry Fink. I can tell you, they want the war in Taiwan. So Larry Fink, they want the war in Taiwan. Why? I can tell you, if you check BlackRock, how they're intertwined economically with CCP. They are right now is covering the bad news. If you're looking at how their risk exposure to the real estate sector in China, if you look at the news cumulatively from 2021 to 2022, 2023, they're actually really in a shithole. They have a lot of problems. So they're still lying to the investors, and investor has not figured this out yet. They're still swallowing into, the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF in January this year, thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna make money. But you know what? This is probably the last meal. Or could possibly the second last meal. They're trying everything to fool the investor. They're trying to paint a okay picture. We got this covered, but reality is the CCP has already been in a hole. They can no longer lying. This is why they released the virus. This is why they actually put everybody inoculate everybody, because Miles School mentioned this whole conspiracy is to get rid of people so they don't liable for annuity owned to you, because they have to pay you, right? Insurance company. Look at BlackRock. Look at HSBC. Look at Alliance. Look at those insurance companies. And look at the people behind them are the same people controlling your social media, controlling your media, and they're all these 100 families all work. The CCP's families are in them. This is why. Everything happens.
I mean, it's a long video, but I think this is the video you were talking about, and I remember this video. And this was in Africa. You're talking about the Kenyan waitress, or this was in Africa.
Yeah, they're all happening in Africa.
Yeah, this was.
Faster, no beat, no beat. Beat once, no beat. Okay, go.
Here.
Yes,
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I remember.
But
that
this is not in a restaurant. I think it was happening in a restaurant. And then there's a case later on, the waitress was awarded 25,000 in damage.
That's all.
That's all. Yeah, they were abused and they were caught on video. It was quite a public cry. There's a lot of opposition in Africa, but the same thing. I mean, there's so many Chinese are in opposition in China, but these are total surveillance state. They control the social media. They control the media. So the people, innocent people outside this, they don't know. They don't know what's happened. Until it's too late.
How much does the CCP control China? How much does the CCP control Africa?
So right now, pretty much in terms of the resource-wise, according to the BBC, they control about 33% of the lithium mine. But the other parts of the mine was controlled by the CCP's I wouldn't say bagman, like Blackstone. Okay, Blackstone is completely taken over by CCP. Okay, even though it feels like an American company, but I can tell you, Miles told us 100%, the Blackstone take orders from the CCP. Okay,
and the deep state, the deep state does the CCP's bidding by making it illegal to mine lithium here.
This is their whole game. Okay, why they wanted to go to green plan, so-called, the emission zero, for the good of planet and environment. And just look at the BlackRock. They have the ESG agenda, which they dropped not long ago. So what does ESG stand for? ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. But look at BlackRock, what they're investing. They're investing in nuclear. They're investing in nuclear production capacity in China. In Chinese military, who will be deploying the nuclear warheads towards you. Okay, who they're shooting? They're shooting people and shooting towards the American and American ally forces. Okay, but the BlackRock is investing between two companies. There's the two major players in CCP's nuclear production and manufacturing, which is the China's General Nuclear Group, and the other one is China National Nuclear Power Group. So between these two, BlackRock closed $200 million investment in these two, and not mentioning in other military related companies. They're creating like a ship, creating like communication equipments and Navy destroyers and satellite. All of those things are military that BlackRock actively investing in, and using whose money? Your money, using your retirement fund. Okay, so this is what's going on, and they are in a really, really big trouble. They can only lie to their investors. So if you paid attention, Miles Guo told us 95 trillion. This is really scary. $95 trillion is the Chinese real estate market.
Yep.
Okay, so, and if you look at those big investment fund in Wall Street, particularly BlackRock, a few other Fidelity and insurance company, Alliance, and some of the big banks, they have so much bond, bought into the Chinese real estate sector. Okay, so if you very unfortunate news, I just want to share with you. Just a week ago, just a week in March, actually, late March, they announced the Shanghai Commercial Paper Exchange just announced new stats. So in the last 6 months, there are about 3,000, close to 4,000. There are about 3,800 some funds related to real estate that basically default on their loans. In the last 6 months, there's 3,000, close to 4,000, real estate commercial paper issue that default on the loans. So a lot of big names we already know, they're already collapsed. They're either bankrupt already or in the process to basically declare a bankruptcy. These are big names: Evergrande, Sunac, Country Garden, RNF. These are, and going to look at those Wall Street's funds and their financial exposure to those just a few companies that I just named. It's enormous, even though they already cut a little bit since 2000, but still they're huge risk exposure. So Miles Guo told us in 2017, this is going to come. It's just at that time, it's way too early. So people don't feel it, you don't, because when you're living in the summer, you don't know how winter feels, but it's actually it's all came along. So, and Miles Guo has always said, the whole conspiracy around the vaccine is really about saving the ass of those financial institutions, which is to get rid of humans. And depopulation is real true agenda. And also they wanted to get rid of people too smart, like a Kuma. Okay, so I just posted on my X, Kuma on CNN. They used to work for CNN, but now in a news station. He actually admitted, I give him his gut to admit it, that he was actually dealing with the side effect of the vaccine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's trying to help. He's interviewed another fellow American who is a nurse practitioner who had gone through a couple shots of vaccine and had experienced extreme kind of side effects. They still call them side effects and saying that this is unintended consequences. But I can tell you from what we know from the intel, from the get-go, from the very first day, even before the vaccine was rolled out, in early 2020, we already know that the vaccine is not a vaccine, okay? Because the virus is a bioweapon from the intel from 2019. We already know it's a bioweapon, purposefully released by the Chinese Communist Party under the order of the Central Military Commission, who Xi chairs, okay? So they released it. So Miles Guo warned that very early on in 2020, do not trust the vaccine. And then in November 2020, he confirmed that this is a bioweapon. These are meant to work to basically harm humans. Okay. And so if you look together this, I mean, at that time it's too big to believe, like a Kumar is an elites. And a lot of elites like Kumar are actually duped. Okay. So they don't know what's going on. They work for a boss, for CNN, and they pushing the narrative. And he was one of those who actually adamantly promoted this vaccine and supported the vaccine mandate policy. But now he's dealing this himself. So I really want American elites to wake up. So, and also one of the myths I wanted to help people to overcome is not every elites are bad. Okay, they just have like a lot of us have all kinds of thing because they have agreed. They wanted to get ahead. They want to earn a better earning, but they are no part of this dark conspiracy. They didn't know. That's why they themselves took the vaccine. Okay, so this is a lot of people don't differentiate. They said all of them are bad. No, they're not. They're a victim. I truly believe. Those Hollywood stars right now are saying things. They're victims. They are. And some of them I know took 4 or 5. They've took a lot of shots of the deadly vaccine. And these are the people that the dark evil forces are trying to get rid of because they're too smart, or they're too indulgent themselves. So this is what we truly call it's a disaster for humanity. And I wanted people to take this opportunity to reflect, to really think about what's going on. And no more than 100 dark families, once they colluded with the CCP, they'll get worse. Because CCP, as I said in the previous show, is truly evil. Okay, no, if you understand how evil the CCP is, you cannot stand 1 minute talking to anyone that CCP sends in this country, let alone the ambassador. I sent you a picture, if you can put it on. The ambassador actually tweeted yesterday, the day before yesterday, say, we have a nicely Chinese culture events hosted by the embassy of China in the United States. We invited 6,000 friends to come and to experience, the tea from China and this and that. And he posted on X, and with a lot of pictures of people's smiley face. So, but I wanted to say that this is one of the main ways how the CCP maintain its legitimacy. Yes, that's exactly the post. And Xie Feng, in the previous shows we talk about, he was delivering a speech at the Harvard University, but this time he's saying that we were honored to have hosted nearly 6,000 American friends at our embassy open house today. And we provide some of the rich experience people can experience, with the Chinese culture, the tea, the performance, so and so on. But this is exactly how they legitimize themselves. They are a devil, so they need a mask. Where do they get the mask? They use the people. And look at those innocent faces, the kids, the parents, the dance. And some of them have completely oblivious in terms of what's going on around the world, because the media and the social media are not talking about it. Okay. Yeah. So they're still thinking that CCP is a legitimate government that represents the Chinese people in China. That was wrong. That's wrong. And I want everybody to understand that the Chinese people cannot wait to overthrow this totalitarian regime. However, because of the powerful friends they have in the West, like BlackRock, like Wall Street funds, some of them, not all of them, they are holding on to the power. Okay. Miles Golan said, if America can decouple the Chinese Communist Party technologically and commercially or economically, the Chinese people will take them down within 100 to 200 days. You don't have to fire a shot. Okay? But unfortunately, those people maybe want to fire shots. Okay, they want to have war. They don't want a peace. Okay, but we're saying you don't have to. Like Moscow on the video, he explained, if America completely decouple the CCP technologically, what would happen in China? He explained to us, although we kind of don't understand the full picture, but he said, if you stop the chip, and not just the chip, if you stop supporting the CCP in communication, I don't know what that means, okay, whether it means the big company like Cisco or something stop providing some of the services, the router, the root, the root internet or something like that, then the CCP, the entire communication system in the country, the surveillance, remember, the CCP is a total surveillance state. If you stop supporting that, they're gone offline. Okay, the communication is a big thing, and then the satellite will fall. Satellite will fall from the sky, and the modern transportation will stop, will completely collapse. Okay, that's where the Chinese people can actually uprising. Okay, we can take down this evil regime. But if the Western world and the United States has not making their mind to take down the CCP, I think more people will suffer. Whether you're Chinese, whether you're American, whether you're African, whether you're South American, people everywhere will suffer. And only those little elites with only the 100 families are beneficiary. A real beneficiary. And the other elites, they believe they're societal elites. They're just useful idiots. Okay. They were bribed. They don't know what's going on. They just acting on the self-interest, ended up like Kumo, ended up like Kama, okay? And ripping their own fruit that they sow by believing and helping the truly evil, dark forces. So this is I want to just put everything together, and I want people to really understand that. And this is a critical moment for Americans to wake up as well.
One thing, I think the main thing that people should take away from the information that you bring is, they should take away the information, but the seriousness of how you deliver it and the forcefulness of how you're trying to inform and educate people about what is what is here, and what's worse, the more stuff that's on its way. I think that's one of the main things that people should take away from your appearance, and also the information that you put out there, because y'all put so much into reports and your documents and stuff like that. You said that you were getting ready start working on some information on BlackRock and Larry Frank. Just be careful. Just be careful, because I mean, BlackRock's kind of powerful. And believe me, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying just be careful, because you know they are a little, well, they're a large government on their own. You know, that's what we were saying before, and they reach to all corners of the galaxy. See?
Yeah, for sure. So that's why we say the enemy really is the CCP. Okay, so if you cut the CCP, if you free the Chinese slavery, which 1.4 billion, they cannot making the money anymore. Their shop is gone. They have to close. Okay, they have to close the shop. And once you expose their lies, once investors have become clear, they're not buying to their lies. You were not invested in anything BlackRock saying it's good. Okay, right. You would not do that. Right? We retrieved all those investment funds manager who managing your pension fund would come back and say, I want my money back. And they would sue them. So if there's so many of us are jumping on them, they're doomed, because they can only live in darkness, because they only lies. They cannot face to the truth. That's why we have to wake up. And when we wake up, the truth is powerful.
Right.
Okay. So that is why they were truly scared, because they live in the darkness. And they prey on innocent people who does not know anything. That's why they have been successful. But that's why the humanity paid price. That's why look at how many people, look at India, how many people, percentage of people took the vaccine shots and dealing with the unknowns. And how many of them already died? How many of them dealing with the side effects that debilitating their lives? Okay, look at the numbers are not real. And the number will becoming more real when people feel more and more something in the body is acting weird. Okay, just imagine that fear.
But you know, I always thought that thing had an incubation period anyway. I mean, you know, I figured 5 years from the time that thing, and you know, I thought people were going to start waking up with horns in their forehead or their beards falling off or something like that. But I was like, you're not seeing it now, but man, and
they're slowly
in the next year,
because the media does not report it still, right? But Miles Gore not only told us that this is a toxicant, but he also shared from the whistleblower. The whistleblowers actually shared with us a detox protocol. So a lot of our family members, you know, although the NFSC is the largest unvaccinated community out there, but some of the members' families, they didn't listen. Okay, they actually took the vaccine shots themselves. So many of us have extended family or friends. They're actually believe those detox protocols are actually doing this to help themselves. Okay, so we have those detox protocols published on the Getter's few of the NFSC, we say unofficial doctors. They are all licensed doctors, but they're not licensed to treat the vaccine harm. But because of the intels, they started gaining experience and talking to the fellow fighters and collecting all those clinical data from the people who are actually using those detoxing protocols. So I personally taking this, I didn't have vaccine, but because I caught the virus a number of times. So I have spike protein residuals, right? So I've actually regularly detoxed myself. But for those who had vaccine shots, it will be great for them to do it more rigorously, to actually detox and monitor the blood work and monitor their overall health. So it's not the end of it, but your body has forever changed, because there's no way for you to get rid of completely, but you can keep them at a bay. So not affecting your daily life that much. So I'm praying for all those folks, and but we have to wake up. We have to say, because otherwise there will be a new virus. Virus will come, new virus will come, because CCP has more than 1,500 streams of coronavirus in their fridge in P3 labs. So anytime if they decided to do something, and remember, they have already finished building 11 P3 biolabs in Middle East and Africa, and they're at command of Xi to release any one of them at any time. Okay, so and then they're still building more. So if we don't take down the CCP, we basically we're not have future. That's a very simple way of saying it.
Well, Miss Lady, thank you so much for joining us today. I'll call this my extended interview with Miss Ava Chen from the New Federal State of China. How can people find you on social media, and also let people know about your podcast on Rumble?
Sure, thank you. You can find me on Getter and Twitter at S7GRIL. And also on the Saturday, I will talk about digital CBDC and the future of money from the Davos. Just a few days ago, they actually Davos, World Economic Forum, held a open forum in Riyadh, in Saudi. And there are some important information that can connect with you about how the CCP and their Wall Street colluder, like co-conspirators, are pushing the world to a more centralized world and digital world. So that's basically the topic for this weekend.
Is it happening?
It's on LFA TV, Live from America TV on Rumble at noon on Saturday.
Right. Oh, look, we look forward to talking to you again. If we don't see you before Mother's Day, and I don't even know if you're a mother or not, but I know, and I don't know if you have one, but we're just pushing it out there. Happy Mother's Day to you, because we value.
I'm not a mother, but this is why I wanted to take down the CCP. So this has something related to that, but I'm not a mother, but I wish every mother out there a happy Mother's Day as well. And I hope your mom is doing well, because I know you were running short for this morning because you were just, come back from visiting your mom. And that must be, I hope she's doing well. And happy Mother's Day to her as well.
Yeah, I plan on surprising. They're letting her go to church next Sunday for the first time.
Oh, nice.
It's the first time that she's been out of nursing home since September. This is the first time. So they're letting, so I was thinking about surprising them and showing up and sitting, they're giving her usual seat that she used to sit in. They're giving her usual seat. So
that's nice. She must be really happy. I'm looking forward to that. So next time I come, I tell you why I want to take down the CCP. I will bring a video for you, but I have to warn you, that video is very disturbing to watch. But it was an orphanage. It's something that happened in an orphanage in China.
Oh, okay. Crazy. All right. Well, look, little sis, thank you so much for everything you do. And we look forward to it, not only you, but that video next time that you join the show. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Hutch. And Jason, bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.
You hear at 9, an arrest made for an alleged kidnapping of a child. The sheriff's office says that the suspect sexually assaulted a minor. Details right now not immediately made known. During the case at this time, investigators say Marvin Lopez is undocumented and from Guatemala. He was arrested Saturday. We're working right now to learn more about the incident and the condition of the child. Of course, we'll keep you updated as we continue to learn more.
It looks like he got capped by a little piece of the flashlight there.
Right.
Illegals.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something to be careful of. Be careful out on the road. These people are driving
all over the road.
They can't speak English. They don't know what the signs say. Be careful.
Right.
Well, and pay attention to Europe. I mean, you guys probably saw those elections that they had over in England. There were like 2 or 3 cities that have elected complete legislations of pro-Islamic Sharia law folks. And they're even coming out saying Allah Akbar, and we are going to start instituting Sharia law.
Yeah, they need to add another letter, man. They need to. It's not the UK. It's the United Islamic Kingdom.
Right.
Yeah.
They did it to themselves. They're going to do it here too.
Yeah. I mean, and believe me, everything that you seeing now over there,
yep,
they're like, what, 10 years ahead You know, that, I mean,
Think back to Ireland and Northern Ireland in the 70s.
Yeah.
They're going to start. There's going to be bombs. There's going to be
Ooh,
IEDs. I'm ready
yeah.
for it.
yeah. Yep. Tommy Robinson. I don't know. I just thought about my brother there. Okay, we got to get ready to go. My mind is mincemeat right now. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. God willing. The weather look like it's gonna kick up a little bit, but we got some rain and stuff coming in the forecast. I put some seed out there in some spots. You know, I've been asking my boys about their grass and stuff. Well, you know, I was kind of worried about my grass a little bit, but this easy seed or whatnot, that works wonders. It does. It fills up. It fills up. Real good stuff. So. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Just like groceries.
Just
like
everything.
Real quick. I think. Well, I know. Actually, I know. I'm going to start making homemade salad dressing. Do y'all make y'all's homemade salad dressing?
I haven't. I've never done that. I have nothing against it.
It looks so easy to make. So I remember in the military, when I was growing up, my mom used to get Thousand Island all the time. Thousand Island dressing all the time. When I went to the military, we were at a function, and at these functions, and Hutch knows about these military functions type of stuff. They give you a salad to start off with. And Jay is the best Thousand Island I have ever had, but it didn't look like the Thousand Island that is in the stores. So I figured it must have been homemade from the bag because it's a little bit more runnier, but a whole lot more tartier and tastier. But I say that to say this. There was another function I went to. I never used to like ranch dressing. I just didn't like it.
Good homemade ranch.
At another Air Force function, it was this ranch dressing. And I swear that's the best dressing I had in a long time. And I kept going to the store trying to find that taste. And I'm buying different things, the ranch dressing, and you couldn't find it. And I was like, well, that must have been homemade ranch dressing too. So now I'm going to start making.
You just made a liar out of me. I said I never did that. And then I started thinking as you're talking. Mm-hmm. My dad was cheap, and he used to make everything. He used to make this salad dressing. He called it Russian dressing.
Oh yeah,
it was ketchup and mayonnaise.
Oh,
he mixed. It was good. I mean, I ate it my whole childhood.
That's what you used to dip your French fries in.
Just wait, ketchup, mayonnaise. Oh yeah.
That's kind of like the basis.
Yeah, okay. I know exactly what you're talking about because I think I use that with honey mustard to make honey mustard sauce.
You could make it Thousand Island too. Just throw some relish in there.
Yeah, sweet relish. Yeah, that's what I saw on the thing. I was like, wait a minute, I can do this. So, yeah. And then
he made his own A1 sauce too. That was just ketchup and Worcestershire sauce.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
And he had a ham sauce, grape jelly and yellow mustard.
Oh yeah, we just did that. We used Dijon.
Is it good?
It's delicious for ham.
Grape jelly and mustard.
Yeah, you got to beat the heck out of it with a fork though.
Okay.
To get the jelly to break up.
Right.
Okay.
It's good though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, it is what it is. Now. Grey Poupon. All right. Last thoughts, Jay, and then Hutch, and we are out of here for the day.
You know, folks, thanks for tuning in. Here's my thought of the day. This weekend, wife and I unplugged a little bit, took some time, went to the dog park, did a bunch of work in the yard. Make sure you build that time into your day every day. because this stuff that we talk about, that we go through, just can feel like the world ending. And in a lot of cases it is, but you have to have that thing to center yourself. So
You're right. You're so
like,
right.
yeah, like for us, we started going to the dog park every night. And I tell you what, you go to the dog park, you walk around for an hour with your dog, you watch them all happy. It just helps recenter you. So make sure if you're not doing that, you find something every day to just get outside, get some fresh air, and enjoy spending time with those you love. Over to you, Hutch.
Yeah, I just have a little embarrassing note. I'm really tired. I remember back in the 80s, the 90s, and even the early 2000s, being very proud of being an American and of our, leaders and things like that. And now there's a story why everyone thinks Biden had an accident in front of the press corps.
He totally did.
If you look at that video, the dude,
he pooped himself.
He did. He did. And everybody notices.
Right.
I mean, it's like,
come on, y'all.
Jill Biden ought to go to prison for elderly abuse.
Seriously, the video came out Friday. He was like walking in front of the press car.
Yeah.
Well, next time you're at the old folks' home with your mom, Wayne, look at some of those guys out there, and you can tell when they do the same thing. It's that same look.
Or even if you look at a toddler,
right?
They do it.
Well, yeah, he did have the baby bounce, though. He did have the baby bounce. But, yeah, I mean.
Whether he did it or not is irrelevant.
Yeah.
The idea that we're talking about it is what I'm talking about. It's like, this is the president of the United States, and we're having this conversation.
He totally did.
Unacceptable.
Jay, give me some facts on that, though.
I don't think anybody can prove it. I'm just thinking, I hope
somebody knows. Somebody,
yeah, exactly. Somebody knows. You can prove it.
I hope we all live long enough that the stories of the Biden White House come out. Because between dogs attacking people and Hunter,
did you see Christy Nome?
Yeah.
Christy Nome came out and said she defended killing her own dog, said that Biden's dog ought to be shot.
Right. Should have put down.
And she's totally right, but it's totally too late. Right. She's done. She's toast.
Think of that. You might be having a bad day, but you didn't ruin your political career over a stupid story in a book.
Yeah, but she's still pretty.